Hey everyone, it's Michael. I hope you're doing well today. I finally got around to watching the 2023 Blue Beetle movie. I'm still confused on which timeline it's a part of. Is it part of the Zack Snyder era, the DCEU, I think is what they called that? Or is it part of the newer James Gunn stuff like I heard about forever from Gunn, just like with The Flash, for example, with Ezra Miller? I'm not sure what's supposed to be a part of what. No one can give me a real definitive answer on it. I guess we just don't know. But anyway, this movie was one that I waited for a while to get around to watching. I finally found a copy at a Walmart probably 3 weeks ago when I still didn't have a voice. And I wanted to wait to watch it until I could talk, until I got some of my recording done for you guys and uploaded some videos for you first. And I watched this yesterday and finally finished it. And I have so many things to say about it. Number one, I was already put off. I was excited for it because I had seen Young Justice Season 2 years ago. And even though I didn't like Season 1, I watched Season 2 because everybody raved about it. And Jaime, who is the Blue Beetle character here, this movie's all about him. It's not about the original one, Ted Cord or whatever his name is. I've never read or known anything about the original one. He's even mentioned in this movie, by the way. He's not in it, but he's mentioned. His costume's there and stuff. I loved Jaime, our main character here, as this Blue Beetle from that Young Justice show, and so I was excited when I found out this movie was going to be about him. And I was curious about what could possibly be done for WB to drop the ball. and boy howdy, they found ways to do it left and right, as much as they possibly could. The trailer came out back in the day, and I was like, oh no. First big red flag for me was that, and I didn't mind the fact that it was an origin story, you know, but the big red flag for me was the fact that it was going to be a George Lucas, oh my god, George Lopez starring film. I am one of the very few people out there who can't stand the George Lopez show or him. I would rather take Carlos Mencia, who stole his material over and over again and got busted by Joe Rogan himself in a comedy club for it, than ever have to listen to George Lopez. I don't think he's funny. He irritates the shit out of me. And then we have the new issue that comes in also. The majority of the people in this film, outside of a handful of characters, get on my last nerve. I can't stand them. I'm sorry. But I guess getting to the actual story here, I had my drawbacks. With the trailer, you also had the George Lopez line, "Batman is a fascist," which everyone who heard that, who actually likes comics or loves Batman, said, you're an idiot. All the money that he puts towards orphanages and everything outside of his regular Batman activities and his Wayne Industries business and whatnot, you'd be a fool to say that. It's just idiot tourists in the community who say shit like that. Getting to the actual movie, though, after 3 minutes of rambling, essentially Jaime is coming back to live with his family. He's been out of town for a while. In school, I believe is what they said. And this movie is not fleshed out very thoroughly, just so you know. It feels like you're on fast forward. You know, it feels like it's kind of rushed. It's only a 2-hour long movie, which really, really surprised me. It's not awful. It's fine. It's really fine. I would say it's kind of underneath average for me. I don't think I'd watch it again. I think I have no interest for that. Jaime, our main character here, the guy they picked to play him, he's phenomenal. He's so good in this role. I wish he had a better movie. It's kind of that Bill Skarsgård It issue, where Bill Skarsgård was an amazing Pennywise, and he's been in bad project after bad project when it comes to Stephen King's Pennywise character. I hate both the It films for the most part. I don't think they're very good. I refuse to watch Welcome to Derry. He deserved better. And this young man deserves better too. The movie, it's mainly about this family who, it goes very much into, in one second, it's kind of woke, right? And then on the other hand, it's kind of like, oh, well, criticize the wokes and the progress that they're cheering for. If this is kind of a line of the film, the progress that they're cheering for is not progress for us. So if that annoys you, you're already going to have the movie focused around a lot of that, just so you know up front, just prepping you for it if you haven't seen it yet. I was annoyed by that, but I was mainly annoyed by the family of Jaime. I like his dad, I like his mom, I like the female love interest in here, who reminds me of Jordana Brewster. She comes in later on. She's actually the daughter of the original Blue Beetle, who did not have the powers that our main character gets for this movie as the new Blue Beetle. Outside of them, I don't like anybody in the movie. George Lopez is the big headliner of the person who irritates the shit out of me. He is in so much of this movie as the uncle who hates the government, is super, super woke. He's awful. He's awful, dude. I didn't laugh one time at him. Not one time. Not one time at a character reacting to how obnoxious he is. Not once. Can't stand him. He shouldn't have been here. He better not be in a sequel if they get it. But I don't think they will, because the movie flopped. And sadly so, you know, because it has its moments I liked about it. Jaime has a sister in here. Her entire demeanor and the way they wrote her, she irks me. Her face feels like she's mocking me. I just don't like her. I don't think she's a good actress. No insult to her, but maybe she could have been if she had a better director. But she has that typical brother-sister relationship where she hates him, kinda, but really loves him, and he doesn't understand why they have to be mean to each other, and blah, blah, blah. It's just like that. They have a grandma that lives in the house with them. They try to do these, old lady does really cool things that we didn't know she'd be capable of because, she's old. It gets old super quick. Pardon the pun. Like I said, I love Jaime's mom and dad. I think they're really cool. There was another character I think I'm forgetting here from the family, but, wait. No, I thought I covered everybody. Anyway, the family pretty much gets on my nerves, but it does have a couple of moments in the movie that really set up some heartfelt moments, some really nice emotional moments that I enjoyed, to be honest with you. Another thing I love about the film, the way it's shot, not so much for action scenes, when you actually have a lot of action in this film. I wouldn't say it's great action, but some of the fights can be kind of cool. They kind of remind me of the old simplistic days of something like the first Iron Man movie that started the whole MCU thing. Speaking of that, this movie feels like it wants to be an MCU film. And I don't know if that's a James Gunn influence. I thought the film was completely done by the time he came on board. But I can't remember the timelines. I didn't bother to look it up. I don't really care. I don't really think it matters. But the people making this clearly wanted to make an MCU type of film with all the heavy joking and the family. Dude, the family, one of the reasons they irk me, they talk over each other all of the fucking time. It's not like one finishes a sentence and another one blurts out, or you're not supposed to hear everything everybody's saying. It's just a bunch of gibberish over top of each other all of the time. They're always yelling. They're always talking 100 miles an hour. It's obnoxious, and it makes the film unwatchable when the family is there. When Jaime and our female lead, when they're just doing their thing, and he's doing his Blue Beetle stuff, I really like that stuff. I think it's really good. The film has this beautiful look to it with a lot of blue and pink. It's trying to go for an aesthetic that's very 80s heavy. And you could say this is late to the party after Stranger Things started that whole thing years ago, and you had all those movies like You're Next and The Guest and whatever. You could say that it's too late to the party. To me, that's not a bad thing. They have a lot of 80s songs sung in Spanish in here, and I think those are really cool. It's not the whole soundtrack of the film, but they even have a synth-wavy, new wave score to it that really, really works in some of the scenes, like a hallway fight scene later on in the movie. I loved all that. I think the style of the film is great. It's all of these family side characters that ruin it. They're not fun to watch like the Shazam film, the first one. I didn't really like Shazam 2 all that much, but the first Shazam, I like all of the characters there. All the side characters surrounding, Shazam and Billy, whatever you want to call him. I liked all of them. And there was a lot of emotion to that film that felt more genuine than something like this. But this was not a completely awful movie. I had a good time with it. It's just messy, and it doesn't feel to me to be that satisfying. One of the big things you're dealing with here, and it's very origin story as a problem, you have a big bad corporation. It's Cord Industries, the female protagonist's dad's company. It's currently not being run by her. It's being run by Susan Sarandon, who I barely know. And she's just like an evil white lady who uses Hispanic people to her own purposes and blah, blah, blah. There's one guy that's like her big henchman. He's like the bad guy version of Blue Beetle, but not really. He has like a prosthetic arm and a prosthetic leg, some kind of thing in his back that looks like it's out of the Alien franchise. I don't know anything about that guy because I don't really know much about Blue Beetle anyway. Old Blue Beetle or Jaime is a Blue Beetle character. I don't know a whole lot about that. So all of that stuff came across super generic, but also felt like Alita Battle Angel sometimes, with the stylistic look of it sometimes. The CGI is a little wobbly. Sometimes I really think it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Just like with the fights I talked about. Let's talk about the Blue Beetle costume itself. For anybody who doesn't know, basically Jaime gets this alien technology. It's like a scarab beetle in shape, and it bonds into his back. And it kind of is like an AI system, and it can talk, but he is the only one who hears it because it's speaking into his brain where it's attached to his nervous system and whatever. And it gives him these powers where he looks like a Blue Beetle. The costume itself looked like the bad guy Power Rangers from like Mighty Morphin and I think Turbo they showed up. What are they called? They were like, it started with a W. It wasn't Wrath Rangers. Wraith Rangers? It was something like that. Phantom Rangers? I don't know, but they were like the bad Power Rangers, and they were awesome. Their costumes are some of the best Power Rangers costumes ever. I talked about them in my reviews for Power Rangers shows here on this channel. The Blue Beetle costume in here looks so good, and I know a lot of shots at CGI, but a lot of the time it doesn't look like CGI aside from the eyes and maybe the arms on it. I think it looks really good. I think it's a great representation of what I've seen of this character from Young Justice. As well as the young man playing him. I think he's fantastic as Jaime. I want to see him play this role more if he gets a chance. It's hard to believe it's been 2 years already, almost 3 since this movie came out. I think it's a little underrated for what it is, but there's a lot of reasons for that, with how awful the family people are, with how awful George Lucas is. Damn it, I did it again. George Lopez. I've probably said George Lucas somewhere else in here too. Damn. And I love Lucas. This movie has so many problems. Too many problems for what it should have had. It feels like if this had been made in the 2000s, or the 2010s for that matter, I think it would have done so much better. And I think a lot of the removal of things like Batman's a fascist and all of the weird constant focus on immigration and the constant focus on annoying ass family members like the sister and the grandma, if all of those things had been removed from the pot of this story, and we had just increased a few things, I think it would have mimicked a lot of the success that Green Lantern couldn't, or that a lot of movies from DC couldn't. I don't know. Again, it's trying so hard to be like a Marvel MCU movie that I think it's to its detriment. But I would love to hear what you all have to say about it down below. I don't really have anything else to say. It's right at average to under average, as I said earlier. I just don't think it's the best thing ever. If somebody loves it, great for you. That's cool. I don't. I don't want to watch this ever again, man. I have no reason to watch this ever again. This is like the only thing I've ever been willing to watch with George Lopez in it. But yeah, I feel bad for this young man who's playing Jaime here. Like I said, he deserves a better film. I hope he gets it one day, or gets a breakout role of some sort one day. Because he did great here. You could tell he really wanted to be here. I do think it's a little odd, just to tag on at the end of the review. There's a lot of scenes where Jaime will de-transform, untransform, whatever, from the Blue Beetle costume to just his regular teenager self. And he'll be naked. And I don't remember if that was a thing from Young Justice. I don't remember if that was a constant thing from other projects or what. I don't know, but I didn't like that. I thought that was kind of dumb. It feels a little out of place to me. I don't know what exactly it is. I understand that the costume is built into his body. But I don't like it. It's like years ago when Iron Man, not when he did the nanotech thing, but that was kind of on the verge of me not liking that either. When Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man had like the suit that could come out of his body. Well, maybe it was nanotech. I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched a lot of those kind of middle area movies of the MCU, like Phase 3 and stuff. That costume always rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like it. I don't know what it is about it, but I didn't like it. Anyway, Blue Beetle, what do you think about it? Let me know your thoughts and comments down below about this movie, about Young Justice, if you liked that. If you love Jaime as a character, if you're a big Blue Beetle fan in the comics, especially with him, I'd love to hear everything you have to say, whether you love the film, whether you hate it, let me know everything. So, thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all, catch you later, and goodbye.